Anyway, before I start today's video, I just got this in the mail, from eBay. Got this for $11, Soul Calibur, for the collector's edition. You know what I mean? Mint condition, man. Like I said, I told you I'm a big fan of eBay, man. Look at this, everything. And I had this, like I said, for those I had a little mishap, but everything, the instruction booklet, manual, the game, the movie, even the art book, with the soundtrack. You know what I mean? Nice collector's item. But anyway, also to listen, if you're just not checking this video out, I'm going back to back like Drake. I just put up a video here. Check it out. Both links will be down to my newest videos. I'm going in like Drake. I'm giving you nothing but content this whole weekend. I'm wilding out. I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. But anyway, did we just watch that PlayStation experience? Yo, come on. So this is what they make for not going to Gamescom or whatever the case may be. Yo, like, come on, Sony. This is supposed to be the next generation. I've never seen, look, like, come on, so many fucking indies. Where are the AAAs? I don't want to keep playing these old-ass remakes and remasters. I don't. I want new games, new experience. And I told you guys before, I remember me and Crap talked about this, and y'all said we was hating. Told you Street Fighter was going to be rushed. 6 fucking fighters for the first year. Come on. You know that game ain't supposed to come out next year. You know that game ain't supposed to come out next year. 6 fighters? Mortal Kombat destroys that with content. Come on, man. 6 fighters for the first year? And they charge you $60. Come on, that's some Killer Instinct shit right there. That should be a $20 title, bro. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Street Fighter V should be a $20 title. So they're like this, Benno, like, come on, man. No, I can't. I got to be like, I can't turn this down. They got to hear this, baby girl. They got to hear this. Listen, I dare one of you ponies to say, I double dog dare you to say that PlayStation experience was that the shit. Let me tell y'all a story. Back in my street days, right? This was remind me of back in my street days. It was this old head, right? We called him Kansas City, actually because he was from Kansas City. And for those who don't know, I'm from North New Jersey. He was from Kansas City. He was real country as hell. And I gave him some credit. You know what I mean? I gave him some coke on credit. Okay. No, listen. I gave him some blow on credit. All right. And he kept coming and copping, not paying me my money. So I was on the way to the store for my grandmother. For those of you that know that got a grandmother that may have raised you, whatever the case, you know about BCs. Like they, use BC powder, headaches, pain, or whatever. So I was going to the store for my grandmother to get her a BC. You know what I mean? It's powder. You put it in your drink for headaches and whatever, arthritis, whatever was for pain. You know what I mean? The BC powder. I don't know if they still sell them shits or not. So I goes into the abandoned building. I see Kansas City coming down the street, bell bottoms and shit on. Maya, turn that shit down. Walking on the street with his bell bottoms. What I say? Walking down the street with his bell bottoms, picking his head with his tall can. Maya, if I tell you again to turn that down. So anyway, you gotta hear the story. So I see him with the tall can in his hand. I tell my man Jamil, I was like, yo, watch this. I'll go up in the hallway. I get me an empty bottle. You go to the project, you see mad empty bottles, vials laying around. And I took that empty bottle. He had some new guy with him. I don't know who this cat was. And I took that empty bottle because, like I said, we called him the one. We called Kansas City. We called him the One Master because he was good for buying one bottle at a time. We called him the One Master. So I take the BC powder, right? I dump it into I had a long bottle, like a cologne bottle. The bottle was about that big right there. Filled it up with the BC powder for $10. I said, yo, what's up? I said, hey, you know what I mean? He was trying to avoid me. I said, look, Big Country, I got these super duper jumbo for dimes. $10. He told his man, yeah, boy, got that work right there. So I sold him the BC right for $10 in the bottle. So he talking to his man with the basketball cup. He had the pick in his hand in the tall can. He talking to his man. I think that was his cousin. He was trying to impress his cousin. He takes the vial I just sold him, dumps it on the back of his hand. While we all right, I'm thinking he's gonna take the shit back to the old folks' home. So I'm telling my man, I'm gonna be the shit out of this nigga out here. Big, tall, country, muscular, I'm gonna jump this motherfucker out here, right? He takes this shit, pours it on his hand, and was like, oh, this the shit. Oh, this the shit. So I'm tapping my man, Jamil. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, the young boy, young boy, I got that shit. This shit. So I'm tapping my man, Jamil. Yo, we do. Listen, when I say I'm trying my best not to laugh. Boom. He goes in the house, goes back up the street, bouncing his ball with his tall can. I'm the young boy, that shit. So I had to go back to the store, get my grandmother a beat. She's like, what the hell done took you so long? Of course, I ain't telling her what just transpired. I just told her I just got over on somebody for $10. She said, give me that. Boom. My grandmother cool as hell. I goes back outside. I done forgot all about this shit. Big Country comes back down the street. When I say his eyes was bloodshot red, he said, nigga, that wasn't his shit. I said, man, nigga, you said it was the shit. Damn, my nose is stinking. That wasn't the shit. I said, man, what you drinking? He said, yeah, Mom, Coke 45. I said, man, Coke's an upper, alcohol's a downer. You can't mix that shit together. He said, maybe my nose showing stinging. So anyway, that's what that show just remind me of. Sony's boy, I just sold us a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of fake shit. I did not buy this next generation console to play a bunch of old rehash titles. From now on, Sony's name is Big Country. That's the shit. Yo, come on, man. Sony's out there. I listen, and again, I understand that the Xbox One is my preferred platform of choice. And I do understand that most Sony AAA exclusives will not appeal to me. I don't care about all those, personas, and that's not for me. You know what I mean? But don't get it twisted. I was a big PlayStation dude. Sony had some games that did appeal, that wasn't so niche. Like, the Getaway, Siphon Filter, all that shit was raw. But I told you guys before, I'm a little older than you. What really made Sony, not that Sony had the best exclusive, but you got to realize Sony had the best third-party relationships. Because most multiplats back on the PS1 and the PS2 era were exclusive to the PlayStation. Most third-party games, multiplats, that they were exclusive back then. And if they did come to the OG Xbox, they came back a year later, 6 months down the line. You understand what I'm saying? But Sony is out that motherfucker faking it to making it. What it is, I'm keep it real. Now, you may hate, but it's the truth here. I always give you guys the truth. I may give you a little sarcasm in my opinion. Sony does not have the money to fully support and run the PlayStation 4, to supply it with, ample AAA exclusives, and for this VR shit. Sony is taking big money into this VR thing. Sony took big money, invested it in Gaikai. You know what I mean? It's a blessing, and I'm not saying I want Sony to go out of business, that the PS4 is selling as well as it is. But I dare one of you motherfuckers to tell me that show was the shit. Come on, man. Sony out that motherfucker faking. They phone me, Sony remind me of a motherfucker out there fighting. Ain't throw no put out this got the hand. I'm about to knock you the fuck out, nigga. Where's the ball, nigga? I'm about to knock you the fuck out. Ain't throwing out one, but doing all the sound effects. Ain't throwing out one punch. That's what Sony out there doing in round 15. Ain't throwing out one punch yet. We're waiting on the Hail Mary, man. It's gonna be mark my words. It's gonna be it's gonna be the third or 2013, 2004. We're gonna say it's gonna be the fourth Christmas, or third Christmas, whatever the case technically. No big AAA exclusive. Mark my words. Next year you're gonna get that Street Fighter with them 6 fighters in Uncharted. And you do have what do you call it? The remake of Ratchet and Clank $40 title. You know, again, I didn't buy a next generation console to keep playing old remastered games. That's from both Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. I don't. If I wanted to play those games, you know, I have those consoles. I bought a next generation console for next generation. And if you don't agree with that, you're lying to your fucking self, because if you didn't, you wouldn't have upgraded. You'd still be on the PS3 or the 360 or the Wii. Come on, man. Just because Sony may be your favorite company, you gotta call them out for the bullshit. And until you guys stop supporting this shit and voicing your opinion and stop buying that garbage, Sony gonna still keep fucking y'all jokers long dick style. Ooh, that's the shit. That shit sure burnt my nose. My nose sure is stinking. I'm out of here. And remember, if your grandmother got a fat ass, please give her my number. Don't give a Sony number, because Sony gonna sell all that bullshit. I got that real shit. I'm out of here.